Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They sucked.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on
And welcome in. It's in-game live game day on a terrific Tuesday. Scott Wetzel, Day Sharapan for the next 2 glorious hours. How about that TTT on a terrific Tuesday here on the grid? We got a little NHL rematch from last week. We really got kind of a dud NBA schedule, but we got a couple of Blue Bloods as underdogs today in college basketball. How about that? We'll see if that's a sucker line or not. Lot to get to, including our continued preview of the NFL. Maybe some goofy props we'll go over, a couple of nice ones that I like. So what's going on, Mr. Sharapan? How are you tonight?
Good to see you. Came on the show yesterday wearing the old school Hornets stuff, and they said you can't come on today wearing the Sixers stuff because you did that last time. The Sixers won. We're rolling on wearing the team stuff, and they're winning. See if we can overcome. Try to put the black cloud on the Lakers today in Philadelphia. It's early. The Lakers are tied, and the Sixers were 4.5 point dogs. So we'll talk about some NBA. You're right. We can try to hype it all we want. The schedule tonight, there's only 4 games, and they're no good. Only a gambler could love them. The real story tonight is the hockey slate and the college basketball slate. Good games in college hoops tonight.
Yeah, really good games. Pretty good in hockey as well. You know, you got Patrick Waugh going up Colorado's former team. We got a great trend. I won't give it out because it's part of the Black Cloud, so don't worry. It'll be live by the time we get to the Black Cloud. That nice little streak, winners bet with streak, losers bet against streaks. Carolina Rangers, halfway decent. We got a team that's facing another club that's 21-3. We got a team that's 19-2 against a club at Pick'em tonight. That you can still get in on. So pretty good slate. Anything jump off the page like automatic before we kind of break them all down for you?
I think Canadians we've got to keep an eye on. It's tied 1-1 after 1. They were plus money before the game. I thought Blackhawks and Lightning over. It's only 1-0. That might be an in-game overplay with that one. So when you look at the trends even for that Blackhawks and Lightning game, that was one where I think it indicated that it would be an overplay. So, let's see. 3-13 in their last 16 for the Blackhawks, 21-3 versus Chicago. Wow, including 10 in the last 11. I mean, it's a big price. I don't know if you're comfortable laying that, but No, the game of the night comes up later. You know, we'll get to it. Stars and Knights. But before we get to all that, like the college baskets, I'm watching right now you see the St. John score? I mean, are they a good basketball team? Killing them. 55 to 37 right now. The in-game 16.5. The game closed 4. Is it time to start talking about St. John's like for real? Wetzel?
They're ranked. You know, what stinks here in FanDuel, you can't bet them. You know, with the because they're a New York school, so you can't, DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever. So you can't bet them, which kind of stinks. But yeah, they're pretty good. You know, Patino didn't take long. I figured it wouldn't. You got all this immense talent. To me, it's always been a surprise why St. John's hasn't been better versus why St. John's is good now. I mean, you look up and down every single roster. I mean, geez, every good team has a player or two from New York. I mean, and now you got, Madison Square Garden. You can play games. See, this is going to sound goofy, Dave, but I really believe this.
Oh, boy.
The allure, one of them, St. John's gym on campus is a rinky-dink, gym, Carnesecca, all there. But they get to play some of their games at Madison Square Garden. But the Knicks have been awful. So the allure of a kid growing up in New York to play at Madison Square Garden, like, what am I going to play there for? The Knicks suck, But who's good now? Who's been good the last couple of years, last 2-3 years now, right? The Knicks, they're back. Now, growing up, if you're a sophomore, junior, senior in high school, and you have the ability to now go play at Madison Square Garden where the Knicks are playing, wow, okay, let me say it's St. John's. So, I know that's not the entire reason why, but I do think that plays a little role. As when the Knicks are better, then it's more of an attraction for a kid here in New York to stay in New York and be able to play, 4 or 5 games at the Garden.
Michigan State was just there and played Rutgers, right, in the Garden. And Michigan State's playing tonight. Gigantic number. You see the number with Michigan State pregame? 14.5, 2 touchdowns and a hook in a basketball game.
They're on fire, though.
Yeah? You'd lay this?
Playing great.
Okay.
I'd lay it. I mean, listen, it's not one of my better plays, but if you told me, do I have to play it, which way I'd go, give me Michigan State. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
between that one and then the other one that's just getting underway, Kansas is playing Central Florida coming off a terrible loss. Like if you had Kansas, you had that game won, and I don't know exactly even how to describe it. If you missed it, go back and look at those highlights. They lose the game to Houston. Now they come home and they're laying a gigantic number, 12.5 against UCF. Totals 151.5. Haven't you told the people about their unders? Like they're just a nonstop under team, right? That's the play here.
16-3 under this season. 16-3. And by the way, I will say, and I don't say this very often, but if you had Kansas against Houston and Arizona State, or not Arizona State, but who did Arizona State lose to last? Who did Arizona State beat last night?
Arizona beat Iowa State on the buzzer beater to tie.
Right.
Ran them out.
If you had Kansas on Saturday against Houston and then Iowa State last night against Arizona State, just give up gambling. Just walk away. That's it. Take a break, baby. Go away for a month. You don't even have to watch our program because you talk about two horrible. You can't lose any worse if you had both of those. No. In Kansas, they blow a 6-point lead with 10 seconds left. And then Arizona State last night hits a 3/4 point shot to send the game to overtime at the buzzer.
Arizona. Before everybody comes,
whatever.
Yeah, you said Arizona State.
All right, Arizona.
I'm just telling you before they come at you at opposite picks or me at SportsBK.
Don't let facts get in the way of a good rant. It's one of our sayings here. So
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, if those are two tough ones, but I mean, you could bet hockey, right? When that happens, I used to have people to come in the book and do that. Like, man, I can't pick a winner in college basketball right now. I mean, I'm on the wrong end of these bad beats. Blah 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 blah. Oh, okay. Well, then maybe give me the Capitals tonight. Capitals on the road against the Flames. They can't lose. Cap's been playing great. Flames are sneaky, though. Flames are sneaky. That game's probably going over the total. That's where I'm at with that one. 5.5. I like Caps. I don't know about you.
All right. Yeah, how can't you like the Caps? I will say this with the Kansas game real quickly. Back to that. It is 21-16, 5 minutes in. The over-under is 168.5. This is setting up perfectly. If that's okay, you know what? I would double down. Or I might even wait till halftime. And then Kansas turns it on at halftime. So
it's a way over pace. You're not even afraid of it?
No. Kansas plays great defense when they want to. And I'm guessing halftime they'll turn it up. We've seen them turn up the screws many times this season. So if they were blowing out the team, they'd be a different story, but it's a close game right now. How about Kentucky being an 11-point dog tonight?
Yeah.
Down only 3 at halftime against Tennessee.
Yeah. We'll get to that after the break. I wanted to ask you about Southern Illinois and Valpo, too. Do you still pay attention to the Salukis?
Yeah, they're not that good this year, though. So. I mean, I do, but they're not. They're not.
They're road favorites. They're road favorites.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Both teams stink. All right, in-game live, just getting underway.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Just getting underway. Hour number one of our 2-hour extravaganza. Big slate of college basketball, hockey, a couple of games in the NBA, including a game that got postponed from last week. If you're wondering why, Atlanta is playing tonight against Houston, it's kind of a weird schedule. Both played yesterday, but that is why. So just checking it out, for the next 2 hours here on the grid. So college basketball, yeah, we had two not strange, but rare occurrences where Kentucky was a road underdog by 11, 10.5, 11, at Tennessee. And then North Carolina, a road underdog at Pittsburgh. That line was 4.5, dropped down to 2.5. So far, so good for the Cats. Kentucky down 1. Actually, they're tied 35 all early second half. Did you bite on the 10.5, or did you stay away, or even take Tennessee?
No, stay away. Sometimes the number just kind of gives you pause on both sides, which that one did this morning. I looked at it and went, boy, that's perfect. I don't like one side more than the other at all. We'll wait and see this in game. Right now, you get a bargain basement price of Tennessee minus 3.5 if you like them. But I don't think Kentucky's going to go away. I mean, one of the takeaways from last night was watching NC State play Duke. They didn't go anywhere. They gave them everything they got. Although we did send out the bat signal here, and we told everybody at minus 5.5 it was time to kind of retirement and bet Duke.
I had to sweat it out, but they got the cover. So Tennessee, but this would be like Kentucky's so weird. They have great performances. And then they have not necessarily duds, but, I kept on saying all the other shows I've done, Dave, I'm waiting for some SEC team, a ranked team, to beat another ranked team on the road. And we really just haven't gotten that. All the good teams seem to win all these games, and a lot of times by upsets or by a lot of points. So I was impressed with Tennessee, albeit losing at Auburn on Saturday. What a weird game that was. So I took Kentucky, and I took North Carolina, figuring at worst I'm going to get a split. I got to see both these teams lose. And even in North Carolina, that line dropped to 2.5, but this morning it was 4.5 when I got it. So, but Kentucky up 6, not bad. Maybe this will be the one that I'm looking for a ranked team to actually win one of these games on the road.
Right. Yeah. No. This is. I feel better about this one than I do the North Carolina one. I mean, but. Like Pitt being that big of a favorite over North Carolina right now, it looks so odd. But when you look at North Carolina's numbers, I mean, they give up a lot of points. And even the total in that game, 154 was this morning. What's that thing right now? Double check. We got 153. So it's coming down 152.5. Yeah. You're live. You're live with them for sure. There's a couple games at 6 o'clock Pacific between, I don't know, Oklahoma, Texas A&M. What do you make of that game?
That's another
I don't know
one.
what to do with that game. Yeah.
That's another one where, A&M's not going to lose. Put a bunch of those in parlays, money line parlays. Ultimately, are they going to lose? Maybe they don't cover, but, they're not going to lose. There were like 4 or 5 of those today. You could throw in Gonzaga in there, later on tonight. I wouldn't necessarily lay 14.5. It went up from 13 to 14.5. Remember, they lost to Oregon State a couple weeks ago, maybe a week or so. So I don't know how you lose to a team and then all of a sudden you're a 2-touchdown favorite the next time you face them, albeit at home.
Right.
I mean, talk about lack of respect. But so yeah, if I had to, I would bet the favorites in all those games. If you're not going to bet them on the money line, I get that. You're doing parlays. But as far as laying the point, I'll lay the points. We've seen so rare. It just doesn't happen in the SEC for whatever reason, because those are all good teams. But they all just seem to lose by, 10, 12, 13 points on the road.
We talked about today BVB, which comes up tonight after Morency and Cam do the thing on Sports Rage. There are 9 teams ranked in the top 25 in the SEC right now. Right? I mean, no joke. They're going to get in. They're going to get in probably 12 teams. Like if you do the numbers, they're getting in 11 for sure, I think, and 12 is doable. He said high of 13, that's going to happen. But a conference that, like, you look at that board right, championship winner, there's Marquette. Marquette's playing at Butler tonight, laying a pretty big number too. I didn't know what to do with that game.
I like the under in that one. Marquette is pretty good under team. Let me give you the numbers here. On the road, 6-1 under. Last 7 road games for Marquette. Series is 5-1 under. Last 6 meetings overall. So 147, 147.5. Butler basically stinks. Marquette will slow it down. You know, that's got 70 to 65 written all over it. I wouldn't fool around with the point spread, but I would take the under in that game. So, hockey. Let's flip over to our favorite little board there, the hockey board. Got some great numbers in hockey. Boston. Let me see what the last time I checked it was 1-1. It is 3-1. Fudge. I'm glad I didn't get these numbers out. Buffalo leads our Bruins 3-1 midway through the second period. Bruins are 19 and so much for a trend, right? Really, some of these trends are just worthless. Bruins are 19-2 their last 21 games against Buffalo. Now I get it. Boston's been really good. Buffalo, for the most part, has been really bad. So that so there's a reason why the 19-2 is in play there, right? And Boston's not nearly as good as they were. Buffalo is still Buffalo. So it's not off kilter too much. But, Bruins trail 3-1. So what good is that? You get the plus 630. I would say, go ahead and grab that. If you don't have a dog in the fight already, I probably would. But Boston doesn't score a lot of goals. To think they're going to get 4 goals, boy, I don't think they have 4 goals in a week's worth of games, let alone one contest. So, and the over-under there is 7.5, Dave. Okay, we'll re-hook up with Dave. I thought he gave him the thumbs up there. So, all right, Buffalo 3-1. Carolina 1-0 over the Rangers. Midway through the second period, they're still giving you 4.5, albeit minus 160. We'll get some of Dave's thoughts. Run down the rest of the NHL board when we come back. In-game live game day.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They sucked.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in-game live, game day here on the grid. 24 past hour number 1. You know what time it is? SGP same game parlay time. We're going to go to the ice for SGP since the NBA let us down the last night, actually. So let's go to the ice, shall we? The marquee game of the night, Vegas at home against the Dallas Stars. A little rematch from their 4-3 game they had last week in Dallas. So let's flip sides. Dallas won last time. Let's go Vegas, minus 122 at home. Why not against the Stars? We're going to go under 5.5. This is a great play separately. It really is. Series 6-2 under, even though that last game did obviously go over, but 6-2 under still. Dallas 8-2 under their last 10. Vegas 12-3 under their last 15 at home. It's a lot of under trends. Then we're going to go Jack Eichel. They didn't offer me too many options here when I put this in. So we're going to go Eichel with 1 point for Vegas. No problem there, minus 290. He's got 62 points in 49 games, so he averages more than a point a game. So not in love with the minus 290, but he should get one tonight. And then how about Eichel, 1 shot on goal in the first period or more, minus 196. He averages 3, so theoretically he should get 1 in the first period. I do think he's going to come out flying. I think Vegas is going to come out flying. A lot of juice after losing the last game to Dallas. So I'm okay with doing that in the first period. Otherwise, I normally would stay away. It's not a bad little payoff there. 6-1 on those 4 little pieces. What do you think?
Not bad. Which one concerns you the most when you look at that?
The Eichel shot on goal first period. Although I do think he's going to get it, but I like Vegas. I don't think you're going to have an up-and-down crazy game like you had last week. I think ultimately he'll get a point, but I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game, 2-1, 3-1, so you are limited. Maybe the Eichel point. I'll deal. He'll get a shot on goal. Yeah, in fact, the Eichel point would be the one.
Okay. I'm worried about that one, and I really like the Knights tonight, too, after the way that game went. I'm worried about your total. I like the over. So
I heard you say that before. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like the over. A lot of under trends. I know. Oh, do we have number ones in net tonight? Have we get the confirmations? Who's playing goal?
Oh, I would think so. All right, big time game like this.
It's Oettinger for sure. I think it's Hill. I don't have it confirmed, but yeah, it was such a good game last week, and we were on for it for the majority of it. Great goaltending, up and down, and all of the goals were power play goals. So expect kind of the same type of game to me. I actually I had a ticket given to me tonight, and I said, I can't go tonight. I'm doing a show with Scott Wetzel, on SportsGrid. So I took a rain check, just so you know. I mean, I couldn't miss being here to go to the game and see him in person. Plus, it was one of those things where, they say you got one ticket, and I'm like, well, look, if Vinny can't go, Wetzel can't go, Matty G's busy working, I can't go. So I took a pass tonight so I could get this same game parlay here to hang out with you, do the show. So I'll watch it tonight on TV. You're going to stay up? You're going to be up for the end of this game?
Yeah. Especially, if it's 3-1, and I'm winning my bet versus if it's 4-3 again, and I lost my bet. Okay. But I would.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. That was the game Ottinger stood on his head right in the final minutes. Was it that one?
Made that.
Or was that
glove save? Yeah, that was the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That was crazy. He looked like me back there. Yeah, he reminded me of me.
Back really, in your day that was unbelievable. When you were a goalie, you could do splits and stuff like that?
Yeah. I
there's no
have to do splits
now. Yeah. I mean, you were probably lightning quick up and down. Like,
with a first baseman's bit, too. Yeah. We didn't have goalie bits back then. First baseman bit. Yeah.
Right.
So.
The flat waffle blocker, with the dots. Did you have the Cooper blocker with the dots?
Oh, yeah. The tie little thing on the back. Yeah. Those little ties. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Those were the good old days.
Did you wear the mask against your face when you wore the goalie mask? Like, did you wear the one that was tight?
We didn't have masks. No mask back then. Oh, this is just the winter cap. Winter cap. We had the face mask of, with the winter mask that you wear. The hat.
Mask?
Ski mask. Thank you. Yeah, that's what we wore. That was it. Someone took a slap shot and it came off the ice. I was dead. I was as good as dead. Yeah.
Wow.
Colby Gantz, who's alive and well. Some basketball with her.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on him. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They suck.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
You know, they have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year, they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away. Got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number one. Taking a look at some college basketball. We were joking about, last night's, not really joking. You feel sympathy for those that bet Iowa State last night. And if you had them parlayed with Kansas against Houston on Saturday, you might as well just give up gambling. I don't think our next guest, Colby Dan, the College Experience podcast, had both of those. Maybe one. Who knows? What's going on, Colby? How are you tonight?
I'm great, and as someone that had Arizona last night, I felt great. Nice. But I did have Kansas. Yes. I did have Kansas the other night. And that one, there wasn't enough bourbon in the world for me after that game, because I mean, just mathematically, your chances of losing that, frankly, unbelievable. But it made up for it with anytime you hit a 60-footer to get to overtime and you win a bet, you feel very lucky, very fortunate. How you guys doing?
It feels like too, Cole, when you win one of those, because you were already writing it off, and now you get to flip the ledger, and those feel good. That's okay. You're allowed to win those too. Start off tonight. The game just tipped. Marquette and Butler. Big East is, I don't know. I'm wishy-washy on the whole conference. Connecticut obviously is not who they have been. Creighton maybe good, maybe not. I can't put my finger on it or not with Marquette. I don't know. Big number on the road, like a side or total on that one.
I do. I like Butler and the points here. A lot of it, the Big East is a little bit down. Butler is kind of like the South Carolina version of in the Big East, where they're in a lot of these games. They should have beat UConn at UConn. They covered the number at Marquette. I think it was 10 earlier in the year. And I bet that. So I hate laying big points with Shaka. I know he hit against Seton Hall, but that was right after Pitino destroyed Seton Hall and on the court, and then with his post-game conferences saying they're a broke school with no NIL. I think this is a spot that Thad Matta and Butler, they're not as bad as their record. And the fact that Marquette's on the road, Henkel Fieldhouse, is a great environment. If you've never been to this stadium, it's the legendary stadium where they shot the movie Hoosiers, where the actual real game took place. But I think I really believe that Butler is just a better team than their record. They stay within this number. They maybe even win it outright. If you want to get a little crazy, I could see this being a game.
All right. How about Texas A&M? David and I were talking about how these SEC teams, never seem to lose at home, albeit, now Tennessee might be doing it tonight. We'll know. But what about Texas A&M tonight at home?
Yeah, I love A&M here. I mean, the way they lost the other night, 23-point loss at Texas, you end up losing by, 23-point lead blown, not 23-point loss, 23-point lead blown.
Yeah.
And that's a game that does matter within the state, especially since they hadn't played in so long. So I do think this is one where the boosters are saying, what happened there? We better see a result here. You look at it, they're a top 40 defensive team. They're second in the nation in offensive rebounding. Oklahoma, really since conference play, has been pretty bad in the SEC conference. They got that win at Arkansas, but Arkansas might be the worst team in the SEC, and they barely got that win. I think it's a get-right spot. A&M's the oldest team in the SEC. That's why I took a future on them beginning of the year. They got Wade Taylor back. I like the Aggies minus the points.
Colb, Gonzaga playing Oregon State. I don't know, 15 and a half. The total's 151 and a half. I got to be honest, I have no idea. Can you find a reason why to take Oregon State in this one, or you like the Zags?
I like the Zags, but it is creeping up a little bit. This thing was, when they opened, I believe it was 13 or 14.
13,
13. So jumping up to 15 and a half. I still think it's the right play, though. Look, Wayne Tinkle and Oregon State are having a great season. I think, they're going to end up, perhaps in the NCAA tournament. But Gonzaga they went to Corvallis about a week ago. Remember, they're playing. The Pac-2 is playing in the WCC this year. So this is a return game, a game that went to overtime, and Oregon State won and stormed the court, and it was not that long ago. You look at the numbers here. Ohio State. Oregon State has been bad on the road. They're 1-4 on the road. Meanwhile, at the kennel there, Gonzaga's 9-1. And really, when you dive further into the numbers, Gonzaga's offense has been dynamite this year. So I think with the momentum of that crowd behind them, I like laying that number.
You know what's weird about this game, Colb, is the over-under was only 153 and a half to begin with this morning. I usually do my stuff, around 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock, right? And I thought that was suspiciously low, and now it's down to 151 and a half. Yep. This is a Gonzaga home game where they're capable of putting 100 points on the board. That has got something's fishy there, no?
By far. Now, I know the first game went to overtime, so it maybe skews the metrics for comparing that game, but with that crowd behind them too, I tend to think the over is a smash play, but it does smell a little bit there.
Baylor's playing BYU, and it seems odd that Baylor's catching this many points at BYU. Looked at it and went, okay, I'll ask Colby about that one because I don't feel strongly side or total. BYU, yes, sometimes a hard place to play. Baylor, good team on the road sometimes. No strong feeling for me. How about you?
Yeah, and it's the second end of a back-to-back away for Baylor. They were in Salt Lake City taking on the Utes the other day and looked good at, but I think a lot of the concern, and the line's gone up from last night, BYU's laying more, and I think that's telling you that some of those game-time decisions for Baylor, like Jeremy Roach, the former Duke Blue Devil guard, and Langston Love, they're highly touted, recruited from a couple years back. I think it's probably telling you that one of the two, if not both, are not going to play, which makes me think BYU would be the play. Now, VJ Edgecombe has played great in the absence of some of these guys throughout the season, but BYU, when the students are there, they played a game against Texas Tech. I feel like it was like maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. The students weren't there, so it was kind of low-key quiet. When the students are there, I do think it's kind of a hornet's nest. I'll lay the number with BYU here. But I will say if I see those two, you might want to wait to get a confirmation that those two are out for sure.
Pittsburgh was laying 4.5. It is down to 2.5. They tip off here in about 20 minutes at home against North Carolina. Sucker bet on North Carolina? I mean, who's betting Pittsburgh in this game?
Yeah, well, I think it's an interesting spot. You know, Carolina has Duke on deck, and historically that's always been a tricky the game before. But I am just not really bullish on this Pitt team. Now, I guess you could say the same about Carolina. They've been a disappointment. They should have lost to Boston College the other day as a 20-point favorite. But I think Carolina is just a better basketball team. And the fact that Pitt had a bunch of struggles throughout the year, they barely got past Syracuse up there, and Syracuse is not good this year. I do think Carolina, Hubert Davis is on the hot seat, you know, and the way Duke's looked, they might get destroyed. He needs every win he can get. I think Carolina's got the actual more talented roster. So I'm actually going to jump on Carolina. I'm just going to play it on the money line, though, at plus 125.
I love it. This is like in March Madness when they do one shining moment. It's college basketball season, like full on. So you're joining us once, twice, sometimes 3 times a week. This is great. Now, come up with a play in Cincinnati and Utah. I mean, this game, dead pick 'em, looking at it, going, yep, this is one I'm definitely asking Cole because I got no clue.
Yeah, I actually like Cincinnati here. I was a little bit surprised. I thought they might be a short favorite, but I guess the fact it's in Salt Lake City. But this is another one. They've been out there for a while. Cincinnati's the more physical team. The crowd hasn't been great in Salt Lake City this year. And Cincinnati's been out multiple times. They went out and beat Colorado at Colorado. I think they get it done. They're the better team. Wes Miller, I think he's going to get these guys to the tournament for the first time.
All right, there you go. Colby Dant, check it out. It's the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, all your favorite little podcast stores. His podcast called the College Experience Podcast. Cole, great job, man, as always. Hopefully you catch some tickets.
Appreciate it, guys.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They sucked.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
You know, they have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year, they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away, got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Thanks again, Colby Dant, the College Experience Podcast, joining us as he does from time to time here on the Grid. Talk a little college hoops. So, got the potential upset, although it's weird to say Kentucky in an upset. It's even weirder to see them as double-digit underdogs like they were tonight, but they were. But they are up 9, 62-53. Tennessee made a little bit of a run. They were up 11. They cut it to, I think it was 5. And then Kentucky hit a couple of shots. So back up 9, laying 5. Now laying 5.5 with 7.5 minutes left. Well, you get Tennessee on the money line at plus 285 if you think they can go all the way back there. That's an interesting one. Louisville blowing out Wake Forest. No big deal there. Georgia blowing out South Carolina. Little surprise with that. Seton Hall making a little bit of a run. Man, they do stink this year. Providence lost their best player, and they're still beating the Hall 49-43. 7.5 minutes left there. Over under 121.5. Played a little hunch on the under on that one. Told you Michigan State. We gave that out at the beginning, right? 29-12 over Minnesota. 22.5.
No.
They're not losing.
No.
But Kansas
Israel's
down
getting
1.
ready for March. Like, this is no joke.
Yeah.
This is that they're back. Like, they're beating teams, controlling the boards, making shots, blowing bad teams out. They're scoring baskets.
Yeah. It's not like the typical, 65-60 Izzo teams.
No.
These teams are actually winning. So,
yeah.
Kansas up 1, 38-37, 2.5 minutes left first half. Over under 162.5. Telling you, hop on the under. Let's get it to halftime. I saw that over under as high as like 167 not that long ago. It's down to 160. Well, now it's 164.5 now.
Okay, so it's going to hover around there.
Yeah.
You're not afraid.
It's going to have about 100. It's going to have about 150 points. You wait and see. In this game.
150 you're calling?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's going to have a little higher than that. The number ain't that far off. I mean, that's putting the clamps on in the second half. Whew.
Yes.
All right.
They did that the first time they played Central Florida. It was a similar thing. Let me get hold on a second. Where are we? Kansas.
Well, while you're looking at that, I'm going to update the NBA real fast. The Sixers are up 73-57 against the Lakers. So for those of you that told me wear the Lakers stuff, because I've been hot, I said I'm going to wear the Lakers stuff and jinx them because they're getting smoked. 73-57. The Philadelphia 76ers are minus 9.5 in game. Lakers are 6-1 straight up in their last 7. Sixers trend works 10-3 versus the Lakers. And the Rockets in that strange game, like you said, are down 49-50 against the Hawks. And these other two games, I don't know. You're going to have to come up with something. Bucks, Trailblazers, Jazz, Warriors. I got nothing. I got nothing.
Maybe Milwaukee. Although Portland's playing a little better of late, 4-1 their last 5.
Yeah,
I mean,
did we learn our lesson?
Yeah.
Did we learn our lesson yesterday with the Utah and the taking against the Bucks?
Yeah.
The Bucks are beating bad teams, 9-2 straight up. No, I don't want them. What'd you find on the Kansas? Did you find your number?
Yeah, they held Central Florida second half. First time they played to 23 points. So I think something like that's going to happen again. They'll turn up the screws. Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. I must say, the fact that Kansas lost last game at home and the fact that they're not blowing the doors off Central Florida, a decent team, they're not awful, but just goes to show you that these are not the same Kentucky teams, even though they're winning tonight, not the same North Carolina team, not the same, Kansas team. Because if this was the old Kansas team, man, they'd be leading by 30. That's why I'm a little hesitant on the Zags tonight. Everyone's betting Gonzaga because they lost the last game, and I get it, but sometimes, will is one thing, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen. So be a little careful.
It used to be a pretty reliable,
absolutely,
right? When a team lost bad like that with a good coach and a good talented team, then you bet on them the next game. But you're right. There's a little pause right now on that. I think you got to hesitate.
I don't know why that game's 151.5. General rule of thumb, if a line is stinky and it gets even worse the wrong way, then it's like, man, just stay away. Like 153 for a Gonzaga home game against anybody is super low. You rarely see any over-under lower than 160, 165 for a home game. And they're an over team this year. and now it was 163, Dave, and then they lowered it to 162. I saw it, and now it's at 150 or 150, 152. Now it's at 151 and a half. That's this probably ends like 90-40. Game goes under. Something stupid like 90-50. You might be better off a Gonzaga team total. Don't count on Oregon State scoring. Just who cares? But the Zags got to hit 84 points, right? It's 83 and a half.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not so. I don't like it. I know that. St. John's won 66-41. By the way, New York basketball is back. Wetzel, you may be onto something with that. 66-41. That's a really good win, and that's one that'll adjust the numbers. Like, it wasn't at Georgetown. It was, at the big building where the Wizards play. So, yeah.
Was it at Georgetown?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Always got to check those neutral sites. Yeah.
Yeah, I love those neutral site favorites.
Well, I mean, it's not a neutral site. It's just not the regular one. But I think that takes away big time from a lot of teams that have a really good home court, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The college kids, the campus kids aren't there. The tailgating's not there. The same locker rooms aren't there. The same rims aren't there. The same court's not there. It's a neutral site. Everything outside of it's in Washington, D.C. And they don't compensate for that, right? The point spread stays basically the same, which is why it's not right.
Sometimes,
yeah.
Sometimes.
I wish I would have known that. Didn't realize that. All right, Black Cloud play today. Coming up next.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They sucked.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year, they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away, got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
Ah, yes. Welcome back in Game Live, Game Day. Time for our favorite little segment, the Black Cloud. Time to bail out all those people that had Iowa State in the under last night betters with our Black Cloud play of the day. Yeah, by the way, that game did go from Iowa State in the under to Arizona in the over because it went to overtime. It was a double bad beats. Yeah, and that's just from a 65-foot or so shot. Amazing. So, all right, fear not. The S&W Corporation is here to help you out. We're going to go to the ice, and it brings in the greatest sports axiom of all time. Winners bet with streaks, losers bet against streaks. Let's go to Calgary, where the Calgary Flame Stampeders are hosting the Washington American Capitals. We're going to go with under 5.5. Why, you ask, Scott? Because Capital games have gone under in a row. Not one, not two, not three in a row, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not eight. How about 9 straight games? And I know what you're saying. Yeah, but now the line is 5.5, Scott. Probably all those other games were 6.5. No, of course not. I wouldn't do that to you. I looked it up. Every one of the 9, all under 5.5. So even though there may have been some 6.5 thrown in there, they've had 9 straight games of 5 goals or less. Calgary stinks. Let's go under 5.5, Washington, Calgary.
Wow. That was outstanding work. You counted that thing all the way to 9, which is 9 in a row for the Capitals to go under. But I got to tell you, I saw it this morning and I went, I like the over. And I'm not doing it just because it's the black cloud.
How could you like the over?
The Flames have gone over their last 3 games. And when, streams and trends cross in the NHL a lot of times, I side with the home team one. So 9 in a row. Look, I hope it's 10. I don't have a bet on it. I hope you're right. But these black cloud plays are keeping the family up here late night in Vegas. It's always a later game. We're rooting for these things. I mean, when that basket went in last night with the Arizona game, I actually jumped up. I got excited because, 1, that was really cool, and it was 60-plus feet away. But 2, I bet Arizona in-game, and I went, oh, this is crazy. This is going to flip the whole thing.
Wow.
Everything that Wetzel had, this is bad. I knew it. I didn't want to text you and say, you awake, you watching this? So I won't bother you later tonight, but hopefully this one, it's only 1-0 after 1, maybe 0-0. I have a feeling, though, this one might be like 2-1 after 1. You may have to sweat this all the way to the end. Let's say Caps win 4-1 and you're good. How's that? Can we agree to that?
I'll take it.
All right.
I'll take it.
All right.
I will say Calgary 9-4 under their llast 13.
Yeah.
Now, if it's 3-0, then it's 3-0. But if you want to look at the bigger picture, it's 9-4 under. So let me look at the last 3 Calgary games. Let's see what they've done. They have given up 5 goals, 4 goals, 2 goals, but they scored 5. Yeah, you're right. 3-0 over. Not that I doubted you, but just I knew it was 9-4.
Sounded like you doubted me. I'm just saying that. I don't know, Vinny. That sounded like he doubted me a little bit.
A little bit.
Matty G, that sounded like doubt. I'm just.
Was that Goodfellas?
I got the numbers too. I got the. I'm part of the show. I do the work. I'm on the show every day. Kind of paying attention sometimes. So
see, it's funny.
Yeah, we'll see.
Some websites, right? Some websites would give you 3-0 over Calgary. Other websites will give you 9-4 under. They're both right, but they all are little variations of each other, just to kind of make it a little different. And it depends on how you want to look at it, right?
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
that's why I wear the dark glasses sometimes when I look at all those trends. I got the regular listening glasses, but I put on the Kojak glasses like this, and you have to look at the trends this way, then you have to look at them this way. A lot of different things to see. So
yeah.
Hopefully,
all right,
you win.
We'll see. We'll take a break. We'll start hour number 2. Carolina scored again against the Rangers 2-0.
Oh,
Buffalo scored against my Bruins 4-1. So much for that.
The Bruins are a mess.
Boston 19-2. They were against Buffalo.
Not tonight.
And the Blackhawks lead Tampa Bay. Unbelievable.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They sucked.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year, they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away. Got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back to In-Game Live. Game day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. We got Cam Stewart coming up in about 40 minutes. In the meantime, it's Dave and I. We got college basketball. We got a great slate of hockey. Got a couple of NBA games as well. We'll break it all down, including the NHL, which we last left you. This might be, I hate to say it because we just gave it out, and I am preaching it. You can look at this two ways. It's been an underdog night in the NHL for sure, with Boston. Not that they were an underdog, but they were 19-2 against Buffalo. So now they're losing 4-1. And then I told you before we went to break, Chicago, another monster. Tampa Bay 4-1 favorite, right? I think it was minus 410. It was ridiculous. And here we got Chicago leading 2-1. So maybe the norm is not turning out. So maybe we're due with our Black Cloud play, or it's just one of those nights. But Patrick Waugh against his former team. You want a goofy one? I did this one for you, Dave.
Let's go.
You talk about getting a headache. You're going to need this one. So Islanders at home. Patrick Waugh, right, going up against his former Colorado team.
Okay.
This is really the series 12-1 over. Got to bet the over in the game, right? Not so fast.
Okay.
Islanders 10-2 under last 12.
Ooh.
Colorado 9-3 under last 12 road games.
Wow.
Which trend do you pick? If that doesn't blow your mind, go ahead.
It puts me in a pretzel. I mean, that under both there, I think that may trump 2 versus 1 trend.
12-1 though.
12-1 to the over. What's the end game right now? 4.5. We go over 4.5. It's 1-1.
1-1.
2 minutes left in the second period. Can we get to 5? Winner of this game 3-2. I think the winner of this game gets 3-2. Yeah.
How about this?
What?
Islanders are 1-10 on Tuesdays.
Today's Tuesday.
And Colorado is 15-1 on Tuesdays. I know you love those Tuesday date bets. 15-1.
I love
Gotta
the
bet
Tuesday
Colorado,
bet.
right?
Yeah, well, that's done. I'm going to do it right now in game. After that information, it's 1-1, and I only got to lay 140. 140 for the Tuesday trend. It's a good thing Kurtz couldn't make it because he'd probably be upset with the Islanders right now. And he'd probably be telling us to bet the Avalanche. I wouldn't be surprised if George has in his pocket tonight an Avalanche ticket on the money line. And if he doesn't, how do you not now after the Tuesday trend? That's good.
Right.
Now, are you finding these things like
they're not going to get that, by the way? They're not going to get that on the radio side of SportsGrid. Nothing for nothing.
Hey,
but TV has that.
Carver knows
These are TV only. TV only trends here.
TV only trends. Yeah, you're right. That's fair. All right. Well, geez. I mean, we got to look ahead then to the Wednesday slate. You're going to have to, if there's any Wednesday trends tomorrow, there's a lot of hockey. So, oh no, only 6 games. All right, we'll try to find something.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We'll come up with
I already have a play for tomorrow. Save it for tomorrow's show. I already have a play. I just looked at the schedule. It's easy. Done.
What do we do? How about Tampa Bay? You want to play them down 2-1 after 2? Just start the third. My bad. Plus 134. This team is, what did we say they were? They're 21 and 3
versus Chicago.
But I will say this. I think it was like 2 weeks ago they were taking overtime in Chicago. They won the game, but 21 and 3, 10 and 1 their last 11. They're down 2-1. They've not been playing good hockey. They're not the same team. They can't win on the road. The road record is awful. I think it's like 3-10 now, the last 13 road games, albeit this one is at home. But it's just, that's an indication to me about a team that's kind of slipping a little bit when you fail to win. But plus 134, got basically the entire third period, down only a goal. If you tie it, they're going to go back to being a monster 2-1 favorite, right? Good way to hedge.
Yeah, maybe more. But they got to get the next goal because I think if Chicago scores the next goal, it's a wrap. Chicago win the game. Yeah. That's I don't know. I want to shout out someone watching the show, Doug Damsky. He tweeted at me that just FYI, all Georgetown home games are now played at the Verizon Center. I did not know that. I thought they had an on-campus place where they play the game. So they play all the games Georgetown does. That affects the home court rating for me. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine they bus kids over. I would think, the students. Are they building a new facility for them? I don't remember hearing that either. I imagine they are, right? But yeah, that is kind of weird. It isn't the same atmosphere. Just fact of anything, having to sit on a bus, for however long it is from Georgetown to there. But
did you take a peek at the at that funny, offshore site or whatever that you look at for the totals in the hockey tonight? Were they off on anything tonight? Did you take a peek?
Yeah, I hate to say it, but
under on the Islanders?
No, Washington and Calgary was 6. Don't even forget about it. It's due for a loss. It's due. It doesn't hit all the time, but everyone else was 5.5. They were 6. I think that's just because people tend to bet against streaks. I think the inclination is, all right, they're due for an over. So let me bump it to 6 because people will still bet it. I do believe that.
Are they watching the show? I mean, they should be watching the show. We tell people to bet on streaks. We've been saying it now for years. Yeah. And we have to get T-shirts made. We're going to start getting these, the book of Wetzel, the different items, line items. I mean, winners bet with streaks. That they'll sell like hotcakes.
I know. I really should. I don't think anyone's got that.
What color shirt would you want if we were to make an original? Because I got a guy. I'm going to see what I'm going to run it by. What color shirt for your initial
black?
Run?
Black sells.
T-shirt. Okay.
Yeah, black with maybe a little gold lettering.
Oh,
white lettering, something like that.
All right, we'll work on that. We'll work on the design.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see
black and gold's Pittsburgh. That sells everything. That works.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, so we're done with that. How's the NBA doing? Nothing. Lakers
hold
getting
on.
killed.
I don't know if you've heard, but the Chiefs are wearing white in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And the Eagles are wearing the green. So you're going to have to come up with a uniform trend or something for tomorrow's show.
Yeah, I see it's something like 65% of the time or 70% of the time, team in white wins for whatever reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
it's
will
weird
they go
because
all
Philadelphia,
white or will they wear the red pants? They should 100% wear the red pants, right?
Yeah,
You gotta
that
wear red
I would
pants.
like. Yeah, that I would like. Philadelphia is apparently the home team, which usually means they wear white, but I think they said that they get the choice for whatever reason, so they chose green. But why can't Kansas City be red? There's enough of a contrast, red and green, right? It's not like it's very
Christmas.
So why does
too much? We're past the holidays. All the red and the green. We can't. Too much Christmas stuff. It'll be too much color.
There's nothing wrong with too much. You can never have too much Christmas in your life, Bill. I've had Christmas in January and July if I could.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Some updates in college basketball going down to the wire. Minute left. Kentucky 74, Tennessee 70. One of a few possible upsets. Kind of a make or break for Tennessee if they don't hit a shot. Really, they've been missing clanking to threes. They've been stuck on 70 here. They had 70 points with about 3.5 minutes left. And every time I turn on I look over at the monitor, Dave, it's like another missed three, another missed three. I think their last 10 shots have been threes and all missed. Man, they're going to blow it. Kentucky, I think, is going to win. How about that? First big time, road win for an SEC team against an SEC team.
It's not done yet. Hold on.
Not done yet.
It's not done yet. Shout out friend of the show. He's watching. Eron Sean. He just said 16 of the last 20 Super Bowl winners wore white jerseys.
Yeah, I know something goofy like that.
16 of 20? I guess that's why they're favored. I mean, they're wearing white.
I'd like to know. Yeah, I'd like to know the penalty ratio. Now, these officials are all experienced, but it just makes you wonder, like, maybe they're getting calls, so maybe there's more penalties against the teams in black or red or green?
What? You're an official.
Give me a reason why it's white, other than it's just luck.
You're an official. Why are you questioning the officials? Haven't we done enough of that? All these other shows, all these other stuff. It has nothing to do with the calls. I mean, you ref, do you call fouls more on a team wearing the white jerseys or the dark jerseys? You don't even know what color jerseys they're wearing.
Yeah. Good looking or, fat maybe, but, not. I don't worry about the color. No, I'm just joking. No, I don't. If it's brown, then the ball kind of blends in with the jersey, but there aren't too many black. The NFL's got a problem here, Dave. This is starting to grow. If Kansas City wins this game, and there's nothing that there are penalties being called against Philadelphia, and a lot of close calls going their way. You get more and more people that are getting upset with Kansas City seemingly getting every break in the world. And I'm the biggest conspiracy guy in the world. And I'm trying to honestly diffuse it. Really, I really am. Because as I tell people, that didn't stop. No official got in the way of Dalton Kincaid and made him drop the fourth down ball right in his freaking arms, right? I mean, there's a lot. No one told the Buffalo Bills, oh, by the way, we don't know how to run a push-tush. They had 3rd and 1. They failed not once but twice to get that first down. I mean, so, I think people are looking for an excuse, but ultimately it's an issue. I got a lot of people saying they're not going to watch the game or they're upset with the NFL. They think it's really rigged. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, though. It better be a straight-up game.
Vinny, can you give me a little goal horn? I want to see if it works right now. I got
there it is. All right.
Quickly, we'll update you. No, the Blackhawks scored to make it 3-1. So it's 3-1 in Tampa. And the Capitals scored maybe on the first opening faceoff. It's already 1-0, and it's not even 3 minutes in. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know. I'm not saying that means the game's going to go over, but the total's already 6.5. Juice to the over, -120. So it was a quick goal. That doesn't mean it can't not be any more scoring, but Tennessee hit a 3-2, by the way. It's 74-73. Kentucky, they're on the line shooting. So this is getting close. You may have said something a little too soon. Aren't you superstitious? Aren't you a gambler? You're supposed to what? What are you doing? What?
They missed
Only
it.
Back? Oh, boy.
Tennessee missed a shot to tie it. A 3, naturally. Went out of bounds. I think it's going to be Kentucky ball with 7 seconds left, 8 seconds left. So 1-0 Washington. They scored their first shot, no less, probably. Unbelievable.
Happens. Okay. Relax. It's good. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We still have hope.
Well,
this makes me think.
It was on their first shot. They actually blocked the second shot, so we're good.
Was it?
He has 2 shots on goal, 1 save. So that's fine.
Oh, my goodness. Maybe we should bet the over in the Dallas-Vegas thing then. I mean, everything that was supposed to happen in hockey has not. Carolina and the Rangers.
The Jets were supposed to beat the Canadians. They were favored.
The Canadians have been playing good. 12-6.
I know, but
18.
they were still favored.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, they were still favored.
And the Hurricanes were favored at the Rangers today. So the odds makers thought that the Hurricanes would win that game.
But I will tell you, the Rangers were, where is it here? 25-8 against Carolina the last 33 games. So they've owned Carolina. Especially Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, different Rangers team. They're not the
Yeah.
same. I don't know who needs to hear it, but as constructed, probably not going to make a run deep into the playoffs, let alone maybe hovering around making the playoffs. So
Yeah, they might not.
yeah,
How about that? Think about the teams that might not make the postseason. Rangers, Pittsburgh. I mean, you get like some real blue blood. Detroit, obviously, real like hardcore big city hockey towns, long history. That might not get in.
Yeah, we'll tell you right now in the conference. Yeah, Montreal not making it. Detroit right now not making it. The Rangers not making it. Flyers, Islanders, Penguins, and the Sabres. So not looking great for that. What division is that? The Metropolitan Division? Not so much.
Right.
Ugly.
All right.
Kansas is losing.
Kansas is losing.
Man.
I mean, I tell you what. This is just one of those nights where you might as well just bet all underdogs from here on out. You watch Gonzaga lose outright to Oregon State, or at least
Kansas
cover the
is only
spread.
-2.5. Kansas is -2.5. Might have to make the move out of retirement. They come back. You trust them? -2.5. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, they're not losing it. There's
They're
no way
winning
they're
that
losing
game.
Central Florida. No way. At home. No.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They sucked.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year they start turning the corner a little, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away. Got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to In-Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. A little upset Tuesday is the way of the world right now, I'll tell you that. We got Kentucky winning. We got Kansas as a double-digit underdog. We got Kansas as a double-digit favorite losing at home to Central Florida. We got Marquette down 7 at Butler as a, like a 7.5 or so point favorite, I believe it was, for Marquette. I mean, We got the Blackhawks winning in hockey against Tampa Bay as a 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, whatever the hell it was, underdog.
Big.
Yeah, big. It's one of those nights, man. From here on out, like I said, if you're betting a favorite, boy, God bless you, because you don't have to hit me over the head 5 times. I get it. This is just one of those nights. I'm telling you, I'm going. Colby Dant loves San Jose State getting 14 or so against San Diego State. Give me San Jose State. Give me Oregon State plus the 15 or so against the Gonzaga as well. I don't know if they win outright, but yeah,
it's one of those games nights. The next day, remember Louis the Lip, like he'd call you, ask if you want to have lunch, say, hey, how you doing? Everything good? Because, you were on that side of the ledger. It was one of those ones where you'd have the lunch meeting next day and stuff. We just check in on your, hey, how are the kids? Call you and say, yeah, they're good. Why? Oh, just, give them a little something from Uncle Louis. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Thanks. Yeah. I know. They never called, when you went 4-0 or, you had a big night and you hit the reverse and you hit the this and the that. No. Too busy, driving around, probably in a new nice car, maybe a Tag Heuer watch or something, just cruising around the neighborhood, doing whatever they were doing. These guys always had nice watches. You got to be careful with those guys with nice watches. Watch.
Yeah. You give them $1,000, they'll buy you like a Whopper. Yeah, come on, I'll take you out to lunch. Come on, my treat. Yeah, great. Here's the $1,000 bag, and thanks for
2 for $5.
Yeah, 2 for $5 deal. Yeah, maybe a little drink with that as well. Yeah, thanks, Louis. Appreciate it. Yeah, I know those days. I remember those days all too well.
So Knights.
You want to go? Go ahead.
Let's take a look at this real quick with these trends and stuff. I don't know. You did the work. I see it. Dallas 11-4 in the last 15, 8-2, under run for them, and the Knights 2-5 in their last 7. You like that 12-3 to the under at home.
Yeah,
I think the Knights win the game.
Statement game for them, right? Can't lose back-to-back like that. If it was a month or 2 months later, yeah, whatever. But knowing they just lost last week, good game and everything, this is kind of like a little statement game for Vegas. So I do like them. I do think you're going to go back to the norm between these two teams, which is nothing but unders. So I think the last game was just you're right, a lot of penalties, a lot of goals on the penalties. The first period I remember had at least 3 goals. Then it kind of settled down a little bit, and then it kind of picked up again and ended up going over 4-3.
I think
and it could have been a hell of a lot more.
4-3 was the final, and I think there were 4 or 5 power play goals. Yeah. So, one of those games. It's again, we were kind of making. I was like, geez, I thought this thing was handicapped to the under, and it went over. And then I looked. I said, oh, well, you can't handicap power play goals. A lot of times, that's like turnovers in football. If you have a game with a lot of turnovers, you're going to have an over, most likely, because it leads to points for one team, and then the other team has to open up and chase. Kind of same things with the power plays, right? If they're both getting them, the game's going over. If only one team's getting them, we got a shot to go under. The game could finish 4-1, something like that. But numbers are being adjusted by the books. The 5.5s are very prevalent now. They weren't so prevalent in years past, let alone early this season.
Yeah. In fact, I played the Grand Salami tonight, now that you mentioned that. It was 48.5.
Look at you.
Yeah. What I haven't even I forgot about that until you just mentioned that. Let me see how many goals we've had. 8, 4, all right. 4. Islanders scored 3. Capital still 1. All right. Wasn't for that dopey Boston Buffalo game, I'd be sitting real pretty. But let's say that ends 8, 9, 10,
26
11.
so far. 26 so far
26?
with 2 games to go. Yeah.
All right. That's pretty good. Somebody hit that one. We're coming up.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They sucked.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year, they start turning the corner a little, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away. Got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
It's in-game live, game day here on the grid. Scott Day for another half hour or so. We got Cam Stewart coming up in about 10 minutes as we continue to keep an eye on the NHL, little NBA, little college basketball. Kind of been a fun-filled night of a lot of upsets in the making, and potentially even more coming up. So, and one of those being Kentucky. I did think that was a monster line. I mean, man, you want to give me Kentucky laying 11, 10.5, which was the case, and they end up winning. So Cats win. They get that big first road game that I was calling for earlier in the program, with all these SEC teams, all the ranked teams, and they're all kind of facing off against each other. The beauty of that, Dave, come NCAA selection time, is that they're all going to have, quad one wins, because every darn game on their schedule, is going to be a quad one game because they're all ranked. So it's one revolving machine. You get 4 or 5 wins, doesn't matter what your losses are. If you show the world, okay, we got 4 quad wins because we went 4-8 in conference play, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt over teams that, don't have those 4 quadrant wins.
Right. Oh, I swear I didn't really like geometry very much when I was in school. The quad wins and the this and the that. It's only January 28th. That's a special day in this house. I'll get to that later tonight. But I can't keep track of the quad ones and this P1 opponent and where's there's the defensive efficiency and all this other stuff. So bracketology is very, very confusing. I just know a good team when I see it. I know what a power rating is and go, that team should be in. And then they confirm their position or play their way out of it in March in their conference tournament. For the most part, they can really only play their way in. Most of the teams are already kind of set up, and then we go from there. I don't know. I love this time of year when we don't have the football distraction. I really like the college basketball a lot more than the NBA. I really, really do. The NBA, until we get to the All-Star break, I mean, these late January games, early February, it's a tough one for me. I'd much rather watch hockey and kind of keep track of where we're going before the All-Star break. But now this thing with this All-Star hockey thing with the international thing, I mean, guys are not playing. Guys, it's a mess.
What is that?
I don't know.
What is that, right? I mean,
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know.
there's
Good
just too
idea
much
gone
stuff
bad.
going on. Yeah,
I mean,
just
asking
too
them to
loony.
play meaningful hockey that's not part of the regular season or part of their team and stuff. It's too much. I mean, the NBA built the NBA Cup into the season, so and they incentivized it with money. You know, the professional athletes they work for money. They play for money. So to ask them to do this other stuff, I don't know. It's messing up the mojo. I'm not a big fan.
We may have a 2-2 game, Colorado and the Islanders. It's saying 2-2, but I got a challenge, goalie interference. So if it is a goal, and that would score. All right, so I guess that means goal counts. Oh,
Late
well, we don't care about that.
Well, it's
Yeah, we don't
that does not help your
That
does not help
yeah.
your grand
Grand
salami.
salami. No, that is true.
Yeah.
But that one's how'd they score? Boy, a team up 6-2 doesn't generally score anymore. In the final minute, no less. They must have scored with like 30 seconds left.
How
the
about
game
with
is over.
13 seconds left?
Ugh.
Yeah.
If
13 seconds left on a power play. Right. Yeah. How about that?
Here's exactly what we were talking about, you specifically, Dave, yesterday. Buffalo scored with 5 minutes and 34 seconds left. So what? They scored an empty netter. Boston was down 5-2. Yeah, they're down 5-2, and they must have pulled the goalie with, 6 minutes, at least 5.5 anyway, minutes left. Maybe they had a power play, and they figured they would go, two extra skaters. I mean,
wow.
So,
I don't know.
So I got two dopey goals in that game. What a power play goal with 13 seconds left with the team that's leading by 5.
And another empty net.
And an empty netter with 5 minutes left. So if I lose the grand salami by 2 goals or a goal, I know exactly where they came from.
I mean, the hits just keep on coming. You got an empty net for Winnipeg with a minute and a half left to make it 4-1 final. That thing was 3-1 for the longest time. So that's a 4-1 final. So now you got 5, 4 is 9, and 4 is 13, and 3 is 16, 17, and 9. So now we're up to 26. Okay, we're right there. I think you got a shot. Ducks and Kraken.
You know how you do it? You know how you do it? This is how I do it. There were 6 games today, or 8 games today, so each game can have 6 goals, and I'll still win the grand salami by half a goal since it's 48.5. So 6 is the number. So
6.
First game, Boston had 9, so now I'm minus 3. Second game had 5, so now I'm minus 2. Third game had 4, so now I'm even. So I've survived Buffalo, Boston with Jets, Canadians, Carolina, Rangers. So I'm even heading into the late games. 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Blackhawks lead Tampa Bay 3-1. So that would be a +2 right now.
No empty netters. We need no empty netters.
Don't want an empty netter, and we certainly don't want a Tampa Bay goal at this point. So we're +2, if maybe +1 if we get an empty netter.
Did you ever count cards? Did you ever count cards in a casino? Were you ever a blackjack card counter? I mean,
yes
I'm just asking. Just okay.
No, yes and no. That's not really count cards, but
that's how you count right there. +1, -2, all that other stuff. That's pretty good. That was good.
Yeah. I always do it like if I get 3 picture cards in a row, I'm saying, okay, chances are we're not going to get a 4th one. Or if we get 4 face cards, then chances are we're going to get, a picture card, 10 or above. That's not really counting cards, but, the same kind of philosophy. Yeah. I never quite understood how the Vegas people and Atlantic City people can tell you what you can think. How is that like you're counting cards? So what? Well, you're not allowed to count cards. What, you're telling me what I can't think? I think my wife's a pain in the ass. Am I allowed to think that? That I could think, but I can't count cards. It's like, how could you tell me what I can think?
I don't.
Right?
I have no comment about your wife at all. not at all. So I
You know what I
don't know if
mean?
she's
I
watching
just
the
used
show or
her
not.
as an example.
That's fine, but I have nothing to add to that part of the conversation. As far as counting cards, it's been, I've been here 21 years. It's been discouraged since I've been here, and people have found ways to get around it. I've seen guys working in teams. You've seen the movie 21, and there's people that travel the country counting cards and, learning how to do it. I know how it's done. I'm just saying, I've seen people, signal that this dealer's leaving the whole card open. They can see this and that. Everybody's looking for an edge, where most of the time the casino has the edge already. From the time you walk in, whether you pick blackjack, craps, roulette, pie gow, they got everything. Slots, like a couple guys we know, they got an edge. It should be enough, but there's people that are smart and beat that edge, and you can't. Some houses don't let them stay in that house. They put you on a list, and you can't come in.
I could see if you're writing it down. I just don't understand how they could tell me what I could think. I can't count a card. Says who? It's mind blowing. Kansas down 1 now against Central Florida. Over under is 173.5. I think my hunch on that under hitting, still or staying around 150. I don't. That's not happening. So, yeah. Michigan State by 16. Cam Stewart coming up next.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They sucked.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2, as we continue to check out a little NBA, a little NHL, and a little college basketball with a good buddy, Mr. Cam Stewart, who takes over top of the hour, him and Gabe Morency. Big night in the NHL here, Cam. Dave and I have been talking about it. We're on separate sides on a couple of things here. Washington, the biggie, 9 straight unders against the Calgary Flames. They score first, minute and a half into the game, but we've been able to survive that, so it's 1-0 late in the first period. What'd you have in that game and any other place in the NHL?
I got to be honest with you. Like I put the Lightning in one parlay, and me and Dave talked about it. I just checked it. I didn't think I did, but I did. That was stupid. But I smashed the Sabres tonight, and they killed Boston. It was just one of those things. I go, if Gambler, are you that crude? Are you that cruel? You're going to make these guys lose to Boston too, like a team that I hate after. And then I get the game on Nesson. This is what these guys say at the end. And Buffalo could have used that touchdown against Kansas City on Sunday. I'm like, I go, dude, honestly, if I ever see that guy, like, honestly, like those guys, like, shut up, okay? Just shut up. Let the people enjoy a 5-goal lead as they beat you down. Can't they have anything? You jerks. That's so rude, Dave. Oh, they could have used that touchdown. It was 7, right? They even said, oh, you could have used that touchdown on 7. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, thanks. Next, oh God, I'm going to go to a Sabres game and just like I hate the Bruins. Anyway, I like Jeff Dawson though. That's another. He's
JD's good dude. Yeah, but some of these
I just hate their teams. Like they're so and their announcers are so cocky. Like I'm just had enough. Anyway, guys, the late night action, Dave. Might as well give it to you.
Stars and Knights. We need to play tonight on Stars and Knights.
Well, Dave, I got to be full disclosure. I won with SJ Sharkey, but that total wasn't even close. If you told me they were going to score 3 goals in a Sharks-Penguins game, and that's why Vegas casinos, that's why Vegas casinos are never going out of business. Like,
how bad are the Penguins, though? Like, that was a tough watch last night.
The Penguins are bad. Like, they're not, and you guys got Kyle Dubas, the Leafs GM. Enjoy it. You're going to love it. Like, it's going to be years of fun, man. Just go for it. You want to Penguins, you have them. Go. I've already had enough of that generation. But I will say this, Scott knows too, the Sharks aren't an easy out anymore. Like, that's the whole thing. They'll lose games. They'll get pummeled. But Will Smith is good. Celebrini scored again. Like, their young players are wicked. And they actually, I'm looking at Pittsburgh going, like, you got a bunch of old guys on your team. Thank God for Crosby. But the Sharks at least have a better future. They got first-round picks and guys that are good. If they get any type of defense and goaltending, at least moving forward, they'll be good. So tonight, Dave, I don't want to go against it, but I'm going to take the Stars as a dog. I also have a parlay to plus money. Stars plus 1.5. Seattle Kraken money line. I think a lot of people like the Ducks as a pooch tonight. I'm going to ride the Kraken. They're coming off that loss to Edmonton. Good call by you, Wetzel. I was wrong. What did McDavid get? 1 goal? He didn't get 2, right?
One goal.
The usual. Yeah, you just give you 1, right? Ooh, 2. Yep. The sports book's just waiting. Click it. Oh, yeah, 2. It's so easy. It's never easy, people. Let me tell you, it's never easy. But I'm going to take a shot with the Kraken tonight. You know what, Scott? I learned a long time ago, even playing hockey and talking to guys, when you lose on a back-to-back, I like taking the team the next night. People are like, oh, they're going to be tired. No, they're professional athletes, and they're going to show up in the game, and it's a big game for these guys, and it's a beatable team. So I'm going to lay it down with the Kraken. I was at Arizona game last night. Arizona, Iowa State. What kind of circus was that?
Wow.
Holy geez, that was just absolute madness. We just finished the show when we were there, and I told Morency, I was like, oh, yeah, this Iowa State team, they're just grinding. And then typical, once the team gets to overtime, bye-bye. They'll win the overtime by margin, too. Like, it's never like a 1-point game. Like, how many times have I had, like, a 9-point dog that lose by 11 in overtime? That's when you want to, like, snap things because you're like, hey, I'm on the right side of the stuff. But, yeah, they can't even lose
and the
by,
over
like,
hit, too.
Point.
The over hit,
we were on the over.
Because of overtime.
Scott, I complain about losses, and trust me, Brian Blessing used to tell me water finds its level, but he goes, not with us gingers. We always lose more. We always have bad luck. It's just one of those things. But yesterday, I can't really complain. Like, I caught a break. And we forget it as gamblers a lot of the time. You actually do. For all the bad beats, you're going to have a night like, you know what I mean, where you hit an over when you had no business hitting an over in that game. So sometimes we got to take the good with the bad, fellas. Golf tomorrow. You guys should try to get Brady Cannon on. He hit 110-1 winner last week. I had a few top guys do okay. My top 10s and 20s, some panned out to plus money. But Brady is on an absolute heater right now. So that's 2 wins at SportsGrid. Carver. We rode Straka. That was Carver's pick. And Brady had Harris English last week. We're going to Pebble Beach this week. So line them up tomorrow, guys. We're going to have lots of picks for the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Scotty Scheffler back after the ravioli incident where he sliced his hand preparing ravioli. That story sounds a little bit,
Really?
Like,
come on.
I cut myself on, like, shucking oysters, but, like, when did I ever cut myself making ravioli? Like, What? Like,
Yeah, I don't
only,
know about that.
like shucking oysters, you can like lose a finger.
Yes.
Like that's what like when my girlfriend
Clams,
comes over and I get a box of oysters when I'm hitting winners for a change. I go to the store, I buy a box of oysters and I'm shucking like a madman. So that's the thing, and that's a great way to lose your finger. But I don't understand how you like almost like lose a finger with ravioli. It must have been broken plate or something. But
I'm going to
anyway,
ask you about the Black Cloud play of the night tonight. If Vinny can pull up that graphic and find it, because it is a hockey game, and it's huge trends to this side.
Well, you hit
there
that
it is.
one.
There it is right there.
Yeah.
What are we at?
Calgary
9
and
straight
Washington under. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You
you,
like
got to
that?
bet under that. I'll tell you something. Washington is winning these games like with defense. Dave, you know Thompson, their goaltender. He used to be the Knights goaltender. They signed him to a 1-year extension. The guy's awesome. Like I don't know where Vegas found these guys in Washington. I hate to tell them, like, he's way better than Darcy Kemper. I don't even think it's debatable. Like, it's just one of those things there. The Washington Capitals did so many good things in the offseason. And tune in tonight, 10 o'clock, Morency, myself, our first guest, Andrew McInnes. He told us the surprise team in the NHL was going to be Washington. Me and Gabe were kind of like, really? Washington? And then he's nailed it on the head. Calgary's playing a lot better than I thought, too. They were supposed to be a train wreck team, but that goaltender, Wolf, is good. And yeah, good pick, Wetzel. I was on the under, too. I wish I had more on it. I hit the Sabres and the over, but that was the play of the night. Hopefully it's not over yet. But, yeah, so tonight on the card, let's hope we can get some winners. Dave, Dallas is a small pooch, but you know how good Vegas is. That could go either way. Bet this game live, and I'll take the Seattle Kraken as a small favorite.
There you go, Cam Stewart, Gabe Morency, at the top of the hour, right here on the grid. So don't go anywhere. Thanks, Cam. Do it again tomorrow.
Take care, guys.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They suck.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Wrapping up shop here again, thanks to Cam Stewart, him and Gabe, top of the hour for the next three here on SportsGrid Radio and TV. So we got a couple of NBA games here starting. I'll recap the college hoops, one last check of that, and then also a little NHL recap also. So, and NBA, we talked about this, but just see if things have changed or not. Golden State laying a big number at home against god-awful Utah, 10.5, 219.5. I will say that's a relatively low number. Golden State's been scoring a ton of points, and Utah's a monster over team. I'm really that's got sucker written all over it for that to be 219.5. And then Milwaukee's another sucker line, Dave. You got Milwaukee laying 6, albeit on the road. Portland's playing a little better, as I mentioned, 4-1. That over/under is 232. The Bucks 7-1 over their last 8, but it's been a 9-2 under series last 11 meetings. So, any interest at all? Any props in either one of those two games?
No. I'm just I'm going to pay attention to the stars and the Knights. I'm going to watch the Ducks and Kraken score for you for the salami total. The Avalanche are down 3-2. So another goal was scored there. I think, that's
overhit 4.5. We gave it out.
Yeah. Yep. So that's good for that. We have a tradition in this house. I don't know what you guys do for birthdays, but my little one, I call her Little Consig. Her real name is Kendall. She's turning 11 today, so it's a big deal.
There you go.
We finally got a phone, so she's got a phone now, and that'll probably be the end of our conversation.
That'll be the end.
That's the beginning of the end. That's what happens. Teenagers, they get the phones, and that's it. But special day. I was 11 years ago. I was watching the Pitt-Syracuse game on the couch on a Monday night. Fell asleep, and the wife woke me up and said, "It's time." And I looked at the clock, and I was like, "There's a couple minutes left. It's time for what?" She's like, "I'm having the baby. Let's go." And I'm like, "Nah, wait, can we watch the?" She's like, "Get your stuff, get in the car, let's go. This is kid number 3. This baby's going to be here quick." So it's a special. It was a Monday night. I'll never forget it. It was great. So tonight we got to go to dinner. What type of dinner do you think the kid picked? Whoever's birthday it is in the house gets to pick their favorite place, whatever they want. The price doesn't matter. Daddy's paying. We're good to go. So what do you think? What do you think she went with?
I was going to say the days of, maybe a $35, $40 Chuck E. Cheese, probably are done. Yeah, they're long gone, right? No. So these kids, like my son, he's a little older, obviously, but they like these goofy, like Korean kebab places. So something along those lines?
How did you know?
Is it? I'm telling you.
That's where we're going. I can't believe you said that. I was going to hopefully say you were going to guess like pizza, big pizza night out, or let's go to the wing place and we'll watch the Knights and the Stars. No, that's exactly where we're going. I can't believe you guessed that. People watching this at home, we did not talk about this. I didn't tell them this.
Nope.
Vinny was yelling Mexican in my ear. There's none of that. That's exactly where we're going.
Yeah. It's the craziest thing. It's like
I don't even know what to order.
Scott, where are you going? I'm going out to eat with the guys. Fridays, good for Fridays, or no, we're going to Habib's or whatever the name is. What? Habib's?
Yeah.
Do they have even TVs in there?
Yeah. Well, this place has TVs. I've been there before. They love it. They love this place. Yeah, they got one side. It does the teppanyaki, and where they cooking stuff all in front of you and do all the the shrimp.
That's big.
That's cool. The eggs and
Squirt the juice. Open your mouth and squirt the juice in your mouth.
Light the fire. Yeah. Yeah. She's done with the show. She just wants to go eat. But so that's what we're doing. I'll be watching for your salami total to go over from table side. I don't even know what I'm getting tonight to eat. Yeah.
What do you get when you go there? You get out of there at 200? Can you get out of there
There's only 3 of us.
How many kids?
The other 2 are back at college, so there's only 3 of us. So if we can keep it single, 2 digits would be great, but I'm guessing it's going to be 3. It's a 3-digit meal. Yeah. Over
tax
100.
and tip and everything.
Yeah.
It's got to be. So. Yeah. But all right, let's go Vegas. We're both on Vegas, and hopefully no more goals Washington and Calgary. So.
I love it.
Tomorrow we got golf picks with Cam and everything, and the whole kit caboodle. Big slate of hockey tomorrow, big slate of NBA. So, great job, Dave. Have fun tonight. Happy birthday to you,